There are daily sightings of the Cybertruck, but what does it look like compared to what we expected? CYBERTRUCK from X has got some thoughts on that, some pictures. So let's dive into them and see what it actually looks like. I'm Brian. Welcome to My Tesla Weekend. A quick thanks to newest patrons, Addison, DJ, RWA, and Rick. Your support is why I'm actually able to do this. I do it full-time. I don't quite make full-time money, not from YouTube at least, so thank you guys so much. Appreciate your being along for the journey. You can support me on Patreon, at Twitter as a subscriber, and on YouTube as a member. All those work, and appreciate it. Thank you so much. So CYBERTRUCK, 6 months later, Cybertruck unloaded at the same spot. Compare. And he goes on to explain it's not 6 months, it's actually August 27th versus, so it's about a year apart. Slightly better picture, we'll get to that. So if you look at them, that's what it was, and this is what it is. By the way, super cool. Thank you, CYBERTRUCK. Smack a like for him. And what does it mean? What does it mean? So I went ahead and overlaid the pictures. Old, new. Old, new. And to make it even a little bit clearer, I went ahead and put a mask over it. So we could just focus on what we're focusing on. And what we've got is some answers, hopefully. Biggest one is you'll notice the nose is rounded. Oh yes, it used to be quite polygonal, and now it is less so. Another notice is that, well, this hood misalignment. How is that acceptable, you guys? How can you look at that and say, this is great? Pre-production, you guys. Pre-production. We're not in production yet. Next one, you can notice the mirror has changed significantly. Much cooler, yes. And the mounting is also different. Perhaps this will allow it to be easier to remove. We don't know, but that was something that Elon had suggested may be possible in the future. Big change I noticed is this mega super katana wiper blade is a little bit more elegant now. That's not so bad. Can't really tell if the A-pillars are any different. They look about the same to me. The doors have gotten taller with the windows getting smaller. I'm quite sure of that. We've got other pictures in a minute we will review. And the fender flares may have been a little bit more civilized. A little bit more. Tough to tell from this lighting. We'll have another picture in a minute. But then you've also got the headlights have changed. Have they? Again, it could just be the lighting. These have definitely changed. The fog lights have changed. So that's pretty interesting there. Some differences. I did my best to line it up. The pictures weren't taken exactly the same, but they were close. So right now I'm probably showing a fade between the two. Hope I remember to do that. So let's go on to the difference between the actual prototype, which you can see here, versus a later clip in that same video from CYBERTRUCK. So let's look at the video first, I guess. Here's a different screenshot from it. Let's go down. A lot of great comments in here. Some I even liked, apparently. And we've got these guys hanging out. It's all the way down here. You can see the truck unloading. This is not from Greg. It's from She. So your Cybertruck is delivered. And yeah, that hood, I believe the change is due to pedestrian safety. I think that's something that they have to do to make it have more give, to make it pedestrian safe. I think the rounding may also be for that effect. I think those sharp edges would create too much strength, which could be problematic. Okay, so let's get back to this. Prototype, actual truck. Prototype, actual truck. Now I flipped this image, so this charge port is not here, but that is a change. We don't believe it's there. We believe it's there. Simplifies things. Door handles are, of course, gone. Need to be gone. But you can see the door does appear quite a bit different, quite a bit taller. This edge above the shoulder appears narrower, and this panel appears longer. To me, What do you think? Tell me in the comments. This part down here, that's just a reflection. That's not trim. That's just how the lighting is. There's little bits of mud flaps, very cosmetic in that difference. Yes. And no mirrors versus mirrors. The back window, on the other one, I thought the back window looked smaller. But I think that's just the lighting, because if we look at it here versus the prototype, the back window still looks quite small. Now, another big change you'll notice that you can see in this one that you can't see in the other is the nose looks shorter to me. Much shorter. That's going to make the truck 6 inches shorter, 6 inches more likely to fit in your garage, 6 inches less of super mega frunk. Got to have that, apparently. And the angle back here appears different to me, too, on the tail. Looks sharper there. Well, could just be the lighting. I don't know. This whole angle looks a little bit less radical and sexy to me. The whole thing looks... And the doors themselves, the proportion of the doors from here to here and here to here appear to have changed. So the whole line from the shoulder line back, different. And again, this had a seam on the prototype because they couldn't fold it and join it properly. But it will not have a seam on the final. This is a fold, not a seam, from what we have seen. The fender wells don't look that much different to me. Yeah, on this, from the prototype, they look even more delicate on the prototype than on the final. But again, it could be lighting. It could be a trick to make the tires look bigger. That's why the Buzz Forks has those ridiculous plastic fenders, is to mask the proportions of the vehicle. And high shoulders is a safety issue. It affords greater rollover protection. And also, the front end being shorter can change the roof line a bit so that it needs to end a little sooner. I guess it didn't change the roof line. No, the angle looks about the same. So that's interesting that they found a way to do that. Again, it could just be the angle, but I tried to match that back tire to the fact that the back tire is still right there, but this camera is much closer than the camera in this picture. So I'm doing my best here. Those are the changes I'm able to notice. What are you able to notice? I love this. I am so excited, and I hope you are too. But if you're not, that's fine. You can give me a reservation. That's not going to be transferable, I bet. We will see. And of course, the difference, we now believe that it has rear steering. We've seen it in action. With a long wheelbase, rear steer might be nice. Tesla, famously, not the best turn radius. Even with the rear steer, it may only be on par with other trucks. We don't yet know for sure. And again, don't sweat the hood line. I don't think that's something valid to worry about. Let's take a quick look at some of the comments. Higher quality, disagree. First time I've noticed the front face is curved, yes. Probably better aero. I think that's great. Easier on the assembly, perhaps. So great. And it also looks like the building has moved a bit. Yeah, the parking lot's the fault line. This is to be expected. Or it could be a migratory building. Those are also very common, I'm told. And it looks 249 microns uglier. Should I like it? No followers, not going to like it. But I will allow it. So, great. What do you guys think? What did I miss? What did I misunderstand? I'll leave it all in the comments below. Help me out if you can. If you can't, subscribe, like, leave a comment. Tell me what should have been covered that wasn't. Stay tuned. Stay juicy. I can't wait to hear from you clever robots on the flippity flop.